What's going on, guys? We're gonna do this one a little bit different. It's Memorial Day. Tina's filming something at the house, so I figured why not come out to this area, which is kind of cool, pretty close by, and just film this way. Knock it out real quick. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about knee sleeves. All kinds of stuff going on right now with SPD knee sleeves, Inzer knee sleeves, what's legal, what's not. And this whole commotion has caused a lot of flip-flopping between the sleeves, right? It's either the Inzers or the SPDs, or you have some rigor mortis. There's other brands too. And basically, what I've noticed is there's been a lot of my lifters have been saying things, the ones that are flip-flopping, right? So these are people that were not exclusively in SPDs or one or the other. But what I've noticed is they're saying a lot like, hey, I feel like I forgot how to squat. I feel like I'm not squatting the way that I normally squat. I'm not really sure what's going on. And one thing that I had pointed out to one of my lifters before all this happened was that in the Inzers, they're gonna be super, super, super tight. They're gonna be super compressive. And when you think about it, if you're normally squatting in something, if you're squatting bare knees, right, you're gonna have a consistent sort of motion all the way through. And then if you go to something like just a regular, I don't know if you guys remember the rebands. If you guys remember rebands, please let me know, but I doubt there's many people that remember those. That is gonna be barely anything at all. It's literally just gonna keep your knees warm. And then we had the SPD sleeves, the first version many, many years ago. Some say they're stiffer than the newer ones. I'm not really entirely sure. Now we have these new ones, and then there's like super new ones, right? So you have like all these different levels of like tightness. And then you have the Inzers, which are just like, people dread putting them on and taking them off, right? They are super, super, super tight. The most assistant of all of them, they give you the most sort of pop out of the hole, right? But if you're squatting in something like that, that's gonna be really, really, really tight. It's super unnatural. It's the farthest away from anything natural that you're gonna be doing. You have to understand that, like, unless you get, it's like equipment. It's like, I'm not saying it's like geared lifting. It's like knee sleeve or knee wraps. But it can be close to something similar to that, where you're literally adding an external thing that is going to affect the way that you squat. It's gonna change the portions in the squat where you're gonna feel more or less tension. For example, if you're like a pretty like lean person and you're squatting, first off, squats probably might not be your favorite lift, because you're gonna have to, the bottom position is probably gonna feel the worst, right? If you're a bigger guy, as you get down past that sort of, think of the midway sticking point going up, think of the halfway point going down. As you sort of get to that bottom position as a bigger guy, your body's gonna kind of run into itself. It's gonna kind of, you're gonna get that compression, and that's gonna kind of pop you up. Now with the Inzer knee sleeves, you get that effect, plus whatever, if you're like having a bigger belly for squat is definitely gonna help you, right? But all those types of things are gonna be different. There's like a helicopter or military planes flying over, so actually, let me see if we could see that. I don't know if you guys can see that up there. Man, right over there, into the clouds. We got some hawks or some birds or whatever. And this is the Memorial Day special, all right? We interrupt our informative videos to look at the jets, right? After all, we are in America. But anyway, as you add these different types of equipment, these knee sleeves are just getting tighter, they're getting better, more durable, whatever. I would argue some of them are not getting more durable, but that's for another video. You're gonna change the way that your squat is, right? You're not just gonna have a smooth sort of, sorry, I know I keep moving the camera a lot. you're not gonna just have the smooth like down and up motion. You're gonna have this, you're kind of coming down, everything feels kind of normal. As soon as you get that sticky point, your knee sleeves really start to condense on you. And now you're sort of like thinking about the pain, and you're not controlling your squat consistently, or the amount of control that you would normally have in that portion of the squat. You have less now because you're relying on your knee sleeves to kind of take care of you. And then you go, you warm up, or maybe on another day using a different knee sleeve, and it just kind of messes you up, right? Kind of throws you off completely. You don't even know how to squat anymore. And for me, I like consistency. I like, you hear pro gamers, they use the same sensitivity, they use the same keyboard, they use the same mouse, they use the same setup, they use the same desk height, they use the same monitor, they use the same refresh rate, they use everything the same, because on the day you want to be as perfect as possible. You want to be like, I have done this 157,000 times, and on meet day, when I need to hit my perfect squat, I don't even need to think, because the natural thing that my body's going to do is going to be the best thing for my numbers on that day. And that's what you want. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be consistent throughout the entire thing. So if you're constantly changing between the two, it is going to feel strange. Now, can you get used to the knee sleeves? Yes, but another thing I don't like is over time, like if you're using super compressive knee sleeves, I don't think they're going to stay the exact same level of sort of the sponginess is going to like deteriorate over time, right? So like slowly over time, your squat, is one way, and now you're adjusting to something else, and then you get brand new ones, and you're so used to the old ones, and then you got to break those in. You know what I mean? And it's just like, me personally, when I competed, I always used the same stuff. I would use 2XL knee sleeves for training, which felt great, no problems, easy to put on, easy to put off, don't have to worry about it. And then on meet day, I would wear XLs, which honestly weren't really that different. Because when I first started, I think it was like my second meet, I had mediums, and I had like homies help me put that on, which it was not IPF back then, before all of you were born. So I'm pretty sure, I don't even know if that was a rule, but like I remember like needing help to get them off at least on the mediums. And could I fit into mediums? Maybe, but I just said, bro, it's not even worth the hassle. I just want to be strong. I know I can do it without it. I don't even need to do that, right? And that's what I did. So yeah, I think like it also kind of cuts into the whole thing as like, what is like being a power lifter? I do believe like belts, like the SPD belt definitely helps my squat. It definitely helped me at least have more confidence in my squat, knowing that I had like the strongest, not tightest, but like most durable thing. Like the buckle was not going to explode, right? I don't know if you guys have seen when buckles have exploded. And I've had belts open on people. I've seen belts explode on people. And then that's kind of why in the past we used to go for the prong belts, and now nobody uses a prong belt. It's like unheard of to use a prong belt. So I would say if you feel like your squat is inconsistent and you've been changing between the two, then you have to kind of understand that like, all right, maybe I need to just commit to one thing, and like how much is this actually helping me? It could be a mental thing. It could literally just be like mentally, this is making me feel like I can do more. It could also be that it actually is assisting you quite a bit, in which case what I like to do is I'll get some sessions, like if I get brand new ones and you want to use super tight knee sleeves, I would just do like maybe like a 4-week block on them, towards where you're probably going to be near your peak strength, kind of like get used to them a little bit. It doesn't really matter, but you need to practice using them. Put them away, get some other ones and use those. Those are going to wear out. Those are not going to give you as much boost. And then when it's time and you get close to the competition, maybe like those last 2 or 3 sessions, you start busting them out, and then you're kind of good to go. I don't like changing things last minute, but we're talking, it's not going to be that big of a difference anyway. And I think I always like to save a crispy pair of knee sleeves for meet day. And when you're lifting, I would say if you're lifting more weight, so like if they give you 20 pounds and you lift 800 pounds, it doesn't, like, who cares, right? It literally, who cares? But if you lift like 100 pounds and your squat is, your knee sleeves are giving you like, 10% of your squat, that's obviously going to be a bigger thing. So I save another pair, keep it crispy for meet day, or like month. kind of get used to those, and then, you know, just beat up whatever I want to beat up in the gym. It's almost like training with something less, with less assistance, and then on meet day, using something with like 0.5% more. Anyway, I'm extremely sunburn, like I'm gonna get burned, so I gotta get out the sun. Thank you guys for this, for listening to me ramble about knee sleeves on Memorial Day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.